OMFG. And I don't mean the 3333. I just happened to notice that. But, so, I'm in Washington State. And, our mandatory mask policy has been lifted. If you've been vaccinated, of course, right? So anyway, you don't have to wear masks to go to the store now. And what I find troubling is that everywhere I look, I see idiots walking down the street all by themselves with their big stupid mask on. I mean, they won't take it off. I go into the store and 90% of the people in there are wearing masks. And honestly, I mean, call me snobby, but the people I see, you can tell they just love their masks. They got this weird fucking look in their eye. Like either they're all full of themselves, I got my mask on, ooh, like there's some special power they get from wearing a fucking mask, or they look like complete fucking morons. It's like, especially the people I see walking down the sidewalk. It would be like a dude, right? Probably some dudes, I know, I'm just going to describe the average dude I see walking with a mask on is like late 20s or so, about 60 pounds overweight with a big old fat belly and a big stupid mask on sticking out in the chin like a fucking Who from Whoville. Come the F on. Hey, that guy wasn't wearing a mask. That was nice. I'm going to start thanking people when I see them not wearing masks. I'm like, thank you. For what? Not wearing a mask? People are just retarded. Absolutely retarded. Yeah, there's a scary viruses blowing in the wind out here. That's what's going on. Sure, viruses are not alive, so whatever. Doesn't it ever occur to anybody that once you've caught the news networks and your government lying about one thing to everybody on a very national level via the news, that you can no longer believe anything they say? It doesn't necessarily mean they're lying, but if there's even the tiniest question or there's no evidence to support what their claims are in the real world, they're lying. Because they are the liars. The liars have identified themselves by lying. We've discovered that they lie repeatedly only about the biggest things, to tell you the truth. And people still believe wholeheartedly everything that their television says, if it says the government and a big corporation sponsored it. Those airplanes that are leaving persistent heavy contrails in the sky 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right over your house. You remember before those persistent heavy contrails were around, when there were things like butterflies and grasshoppers and birds that sang and nothing, and slugs and frogs that slimed around and hopped? Those things used to be here. They're no longer here. Their disappearances in lockstep with persistent heavy contrails. Now, but those are nothing to worry about. Certainly nothing I'd be concerned about my children's safety and welfare over, because it's the government and they would never do anything like that to harm us, because they have highly paid experts that check into that to make sure it's not bad for anybody. Just like the highly paid experts they have that make sure that they're not incorrect about the information that they're sharing with us about the COVID outbreak and the pandemic. Oh, the hospitals are overrun. Well, I mean, in some places they're overrun. Around here, they're not really overrun. In fact, they're very, very underrun, to tell you the truth. But that's just around here, I'm sure. I'm sure the rest of the country is just filled with COVID cases, and the graveyards are just busy. There's a funeral every single day. Every day there's a funeral for another COVID victim. There's 1,000 a day, every day, for another COVID victim. So,
I heard doctors are getting paid $1,500 posthumously
for diagnosing a death as COVID. How much money do you think doctors have made in the last year? Simply for diagnosing people who've died with COVID. Because, there's a pandemic going on, so it makes perfect sense that, thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who have died would have died of the pandemic, of course, because it makes a lot of sense, and we should never question that, because doctors are good people that are there trying to help us, you see. They've figured out what's bad for us, and they're helping us to stay away from those things, but gosh darn it, people just keep on eating that junk food and smoking and doing drugs. Oh my God, that's what it is. That's what it is. But doctors are your friends, and they're trying to help you. So maybe, get on some of their drugs and you'll be okay. Then your mind will work correctly, and you'll know that they're your friends, and you won't have to have these crazy conspiracy theories anymore. So what I'm really saying is that everything's perfectly normal. Just remember, if it's happening, it's perfectly normal. There you go. If a dog walks up to you and lifts a leg on your leg, heck, it's perfectly normal. Why should you worry about it? Nothing to worry about. COVID-19, it's perfectly normal. It's thinning the herd, you see, because humanity's overpopulated. The Earth's overpopulated, and we're going to destroy the Earth, you see, because there's too many people. Even though when you leave your city, you see, mile after mile after 10 mile after 50 mile after 100 mile after hundreds of miles of mountains and trees and fields that nobody's in. But those are owned by people, and they don't want to turn it into places where people can live and not be cram-packed into big cities. So I guess there's no choice for all these people but to stay living in that tiny little area, like in LA or San Francisco or New York or Chicago or Philadelphia, because there's no room left in the world for these people, you see, because there's no place for them to go. If they get off their lazy asses and earn some money and then buy some land like the big landowners have done, or like their family did actually hundreds of years ago, well, like somebody did at some point in time in the past, and ended up with a whole lot of land that their family now owns and makes them rich. But I digress. You see, those lazy people in the cities, they need to get off their asses and buy some land, and then they could move out to the country, where they would have better lives, and the cities wouldn't be putting such a strain on our ability to feed everybody and keep fresh water for everybody and maintain order. I keep switching between serious and sarcasm, sorry. I'm not sure which way I want to go sometimes. Sometimes it helps to be sarcastic about these things, and other times I just can't maintain it because it's, it's ridiculous. They lifted the mask ban. People were wearing their masks everywhere because they believe their TVs wholeheartedly. Nothing would ever come across the TV news that was purportedly said by our government that was not 100% correct and true. I mean, we need to look no farther than September 11th, 2001 to know that our TVs never lie to us, and our government is doing the best it can to make sure that every base is covered and every stone is turned looking for the culprits. It was like that with Osama, and thank God Obama found him in 2000, and when was that? 2009? Yeah, Obama's SEAL team found him. Oh, then they met their tragic deaths after they buried him at sea. But, we know that our TV would never lie to us, and our government always tells the truth. That's really the bottom line. Oh, and doctors are your friends, and they're trying to help you. So you should put all of your health in their hands and never think about it again. Freedom means never having to worry about your health. The government's got a plan for all our health, and they're carrying it out right now. So there's nothing to worry about, America. Have a good day.